Oh my God, how's it going? You look so fancy all sideways like that. Hi, do you know
Hey,
your sideways?
do I need to flip my phone around?
We could do it like this if you want, but I don't know if I'm gonna get a crick in my neck. Kristi McHough is a stand-up comedy comedian, writer, actor.
Not a hairdresser, obviously. Wow, what's happening here?
Fabulous.
Okay, it's windy here. Sorry,
So
okay.
Where are you exactly? Give us a scoop on Kristi McHough. I know you've been really super busy these days. Can you? Do you want to start off where you began, or do you want to just jump around?
Well, it's your show, so wherever you would like. Right now, presently, I'm in Florida. So we're working on a TV show. So I've got some gigs here and a lot of meetings with the other writers. So yeah, busy.
What's the where in Florida are you, and whereabouts?
Right now I'm in Fort Pierce, which is kind of like Iowa on the ocean. No, it's worse than that. Just kidding. Love people in Fort Pierce. However, it is like a Stephen King novel out here at night. Oh my God, stray dogs, cats, but it's beautiful. And I'll be in Fort Lauderdale tonight. So,
Do you have a gig tonight? Or?
Actually, a friend of mine, Jimmy Schubert's doing a show in West Palm, so gonna go see him and support. It's a lot of comedians moving down here, so.
Yeah, are you? Is everybody masking? How is that controlled over there when they do a live show?
They are, I think, at like 50% or 60% occupancy, and then everybody's masked up until you sit down. Because when you sit down, COVID is not down here. But when you stand up, then you have to have your mask on because that's where it lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It loves to be 8 feet or 8 feet above.
Makes no sense. Makes zero sense. But yeah, everybody's pretty mad. But yeah, it's much more open here than it is in California. So.
What's the okay, so we're gonna backtrack. We're gonna go, how did you become a comedian? Would you start, were you always funny? Give us a little girl Kristi to the adult female Kristi, and how your inspirations, what triggered you to do this. I mean, I have my own theories. I know a lot of comics, but I want to hear your story.
Well, honestly, I had no other talents. And some shows that's even questionable. I moved out to LA. I was going to go to law school, and I was in the Midwest, and they were filming a movie there. And they were like, you know what? You got 3 months before you go on to grad school. So why not drive out to Hollywood, stay for a couple of months, no strings attached. I've never been out of the Midwest. I'm like, all right. So I hopped in my little Grand Am. I had $600 in my pocket. I got there, and I was living like right under the Hollywood sign in Beechwood Canyon. And I'll never forget. I'm like, what? I have to buy water? So the $600 was gone like in 2 days. So, but I jumped right in and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take an acting class. I got a job schlepping drinks at the Ice House. Oh, right here. Bam. Just realized I was wearing that. So I was, and then it was like, 4 weeks, that's a month. I'm like, I didn't dive in enough. So I was in a acting class, and a friend of mine, another actor, he said, you're the funniest one here. Will you come to the Ice House and do, I'm like, well, I worked there. I was a waitress. He's like, well, I'm going to do an open mic there. He's like, will you come with me? Just 3 minutes. I'll write your 3 minutes. Just come and do the show with me. So I go. I did not care. So I ended up having a really good set, and I never stopped. Cut to, 3 years later, I was flying up to Sacramento to do a show, and I was flying out of Burbank. Go up to the American Airlines desk, and the guy is there. He's working for American Airlines. He's like, what are you doing here? I go, you, from that one night. Yeah, so I just never stopped. It was fun. And I never thought it was going to be something I would do forever. So I think the less, the less, need or want or care that I put into it, it just, I don't know.
And what's your process? Do you have how do you go about writing a joke?
It's different for everybody. For me, it's all experiential stuff. Like, oh my God, that, you start from a truth and then a little bit of embellishment on everything, but it's all stuff that happens to everybody, everyday life, a little bit of relationship stuff. I don't do a lot of political humor just because half of my crowd would leave. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes all the time. Sometimes it's just spontaneous on the fly, but yeah.
And so, because the COVID and everything, how did that affect you when that first happened? Because you were gigging pretty frequently before that happened, right?
Yeah. Oh, everything was shut down. I mean, they do a lot of Zoom shows. There's some outside shows they're doing now in LA. Zoom shows are really difficult. I did a woman's 50th birthday party, and I had, on the screen, there's all of these people. I mean, one couple, they were making out halfway through. I'm like, I can see you. So can everybody else. Another one, they were making pasta. It just, and then it didn't work. I mean, it does work for some. Not for me, but
nobody was pulling a tubing, were they?
What?
No, nobody was pulling a tubing, were they?
Pulling a tuba?
Tubin, that guy that got caught on that Zoom call jerking off?
Oh, yeah.
This shit's funny.
No one was doing that, but it was close. Pun intended. Yeah. Are you drinking a beer?
I am.
Oh my God. Isn't it like 11 a.m. there?
I know. I just got to grease the wheel. I'm not driving anywhere.
Grease the wheel.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful background there too. Is that real?
This is real. I was in Oregon for I'm in California right now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been back here for a couple weeks. I'm in Thousand Oaks watching my friend's property.
Nice.
I'm out of the rain of Oregon. Jesus Christ, that was like.
Is that insane?
It was nuts. Living with my mom and my brother. I love my family very much. Love you, Mom. They never watch the show anyway, so it was.
Well, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's get some shit off my chest. No, as like when I first got over here, like I've been back for about a week and a half, and I felt like I hopped off of like a 6-month boat ride. I was just waterlogged. I'm like that right now. I shaved my head when I first got to town.
Oh my God.
Now I look like.
You're trying to blend with the people on the Capitol? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I'm blending. I don't want half my crowd to leave me. But yeah, it's great to be back in California. Geez, the weather is so nice. You forget about it, right?
Is it good that? Oh, it's 80 degrees. Today it's a little windy, but it was 80 yesterday. It was incredible.
Wow. That's nuts.
In Florida, that is.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit, it's perfect. I mean, I'm so happy just to be out of the rain that it could be, I don't know. I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty happy. But so when you're doing these stand-up shows and do you have a nightmare show that you could tell us a little story about?
I don't think your podcast is long enough.
Yeah, give us, we got half an hour to kill. Give us the most exciting moment of your career and the most craziest moment of your career.
Let's see. One of the biggest moments of my career is when I was able to work with Rich Little. Can I tell you a super embarrassing story about that whole thing?
Please. Please.
I don't think I've ever told anyone this. That's not true. I did tell a couple of people. So I'm going to work at the Laugh Factory in Vegas, and the other comedian said, "Oh, we should go down and see Rich Little before our show." He had the earlier show. And I'm like, what? Why would he be in a comedy club? Like, isn't he like a musician? I was thinking of Little Richard.
Oh. Oh, wow.
So I had no idea who he was. I didn't know. And I'm like, I go into the green room and they're like, "Oh my God, you're just going to go up and talk to him?" I'm like, I didn't even know who the guy was. I didn't do any of my research. I mean, I wasn't, that was not before my time. But yeah, he was great. And the fact that I was just kind of going up there and shooting the shit with him and not talking about, I don't know, a lot of people after the show would come up to him and, maul him about details about Reagan and what was it, Hollywood Squares stuff. But anyway, yeah, we just ended up becoming friends. He's like, "I should have you open for me." I'm like, "All right." So that was a huge thing. I mean, we had to fly into this place in Arizona, and then we had like an hour and a half drive. And my God, the stories, the history, that guy's got had an incredible life.
Oh, yeah.
He's still alive.
He's big time. Big. He was
Yeah.
a staple on a lot of he was a staple. He was the voice guy. He was he could do everybody.
Yeah. And he's still great. And it's up to date. He's still performing at the Laugh Factory. And yeah, good human being. And like, yeah, that was a huge point in my career. Probably the least fantastic time. We would do these triple runs. Every comic knows these. You'll drive 14 hours, perform one night, and you'll have to drive 8 hours to the next gig. And then the next night, you're 45 minutes from the initial place you were supposed to be. It's up through the Northwest, through Montana, Oregon. And so I had just started headlining, and I got up there and it was just full of a bunch of, people were there in their, they just came off working in some field and they were drinking, everybody's drunk. And I got up there and I did probably, I don't know, it was not going well. They were all hammered. They were like yelling, "The shush your tits," and they wanted it dirty. I'm not a dirty comic. They wanted to hear, and I didn't have that was not my crowd. And so I got off stage like after, I don't know, 40, 45 minutes. The dude who ran it stood in front of me, wouldn't let me off stage. And he does one of these, like I had to go back up. And I was just like, "Oh my God, kill me now."
Fuck. What's that?
He didn't even say a word to me. He just stood in my way. I did one of these. Yeah. So that was painful.
How do you get back? How does it feel to go back up on stage? What's going through your head when you go back up on stage dealing with a crowd like that?
Well, I didn't want to get shot because everybody was packing in that crowd. So and you don't want to offend anyone. And these girls are sitting there, thinking, I do a lot of relationship stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to bang your husband or boyfriend or whatever. Trust me. But oh my God, I was the scariest. We got out of that town. We didn't even stay that night. Me and the other comic got in the car and sped away.
Wow. Like what? So how long have you been doing comedy professionally?
Probably about 16 years. I stopped for a little bit, but yeah.
And now you're working on your television show. Are you allowed to talk about that?
That's a good question. I should have asked. I don't think I can. I haven't. On the safe side.
In a nutshell, can you tell? It's a TV show.
Yes.
Is it for like Netflix or is it a cable show or is it more of a special or is it a series?
Netflix. It's a Netflix. It'll be a mini series and it's really, really good. We've got a lot of great talent who've not. I probably can't say, but it's going to be fantastic. It's really, it's kind of I can tell you the gist of it. It's like a Wall Street show, but it's all the backstories that people never hear about, about the real lives,
And where's it shooting? Is it shooting in Florida?
Yes. Sarasota.
Yeah. Wow. And so is this like your first gig, like this gig that you're doing right now? Is this the first TV miniseries, your writers, other production?
The first one that I'm actually going to be acting into, and it's the biggest one probably. So, but I've got
I
What's
was
that?
just going to ask you, what's your since you're now acting in this and you're writing on this, is I would assume that's easier to memorize your lines, and if it's not, what's your process on getting prepared for acting?
Well, because I kind of have more of a hand in, well, myself and the other people who are also acting in it. It's a little looser. We can improvise certain things, and the director is awesome. The director is incredible. So excited. I cannot say who that is, but you've seen him from, I don't know. He's done 35 movies. Yeah.
Wow.
No, more
So,
than that. I think 50 some.
wow, that's a lot. What's the what makes for an incredible director? What makes him incredible?
You know what? It's um a guy I used to date worked on films a lot, and he would always say it takes a village. There's a lot of personalities, so many egos, and to get everyone and visions, different people's visions, just to have everybody come together. It's amazing that anything gets produced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's funny how like we'll sit and watch TV or see a movie. We're like, nah. It's like, do you know how much went into getting it to where it is? You know? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a director, but I would say just watching and learning and listening to him, it's like, wow, and it's being aware of everyone's egos and personalities and making sure everything can mesh and get this finished product done, and something people are going to like, not something that's got shitty writing or shitty acting. It's all the elements,
Yeah. From my little wacky movies and stuff like that, and I want to do a feature too, dark comedy, Return to Sender. But for my, my experiences, like when you're with that kind of people, when everyone's been selected to be there and they're there to do a job, and then it all sort of clicks into place and the machine becomes alive, and these everyone's there for a purpose, and if you stay out of their way and just let them do their job, it becomes magic.
Yeah.
Because it's like the machines like wrote like everything's clicking into place. That's a really magical, like I get goosebumps just because that's such the rush and the fun of it. There's
yeah, and also when it's your words and it's like, oh my God, that's exactly how I envision things. So yeah, it's cool.
It's that's a very addicting. When you get that like in front of the camera and everything moves, you're like, and then you don't remember what just happened. And you're like, wait, I want to do that again. Like again. Like that's why I can see. I never did stand up, but I used to work at a comedy club, The Last Laugh in San Jose, and I used to do demo reels. I ended up I was a host there, but then I turned into like recording people's acts.
Oh, that's great.
And I did like over 50 comics.
Wow.
And if I had wanted to go into comedy before then, by the time I heard everybody's horror stories, I'd not even get close to the stage. Like
the comics horror stories.
Yeah. Like heckle.
Oh, horror! I thought you said horror.
Horror stories.
Like, wow.
Those two.
I'm kidding. That was a little joke.
Do you know what's really, really funny? Did you ever meet Ron White?
Of course.
Yeah. Do you have any Ron White stories?
It's so crazy. Last night we went to this place just down the street called Chuck's, and his daughter, Chuck was actually there, the owner of the restaurant. He's like, would you guys like me and, Richie Minervini? Richie Minervini, he's a comedian. He's done a lot of King of Queens shows and Mall Cop, Grown Ups. Anyway, so we are down at this place, and we're chatting with him, and he said, would you like to come up and see this, the upstairs? We have a private room. Go up there. I put it on my my social media. If you're watching Instagram, Kristi McHough comedian. Kristi McHough comedian with a K and an I. Anyway, so we go up to this room, and on the table, he has stars like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, stars of the people who've sat at that table. So Ron White was one of them. And this guy had incredible stories. He shows me this picture on the wall. His daughter lives in the Marina Del Rey. She produced Blow, the movie with George Young, played by Johnny Depp. So, oh yeah, that was incredible. He said, yeah, but he said Ron White would come in quite a bit. And he did a show here at the Sunrise Theater, so which I'm going to be performing at with Richie.
Oh, nice. What date is that? What date are you gonna be?
I proposed March 17th, but nothing is solid with that because I'm Irish and that's my day.
Wow. So, where do you, now that you have this show going on, and you're gonna be, when do you think that might come out?
Oh, it'll be at least a year.
A year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And so, are you gonna stay in Florida after that, or what do you want to see happen with your career in the coming years? What do you ultimately, like? How would you like to see your trajectory go? You know, like you know how some people base their careers on like a Tom Hanks template. Like Jim Carrey did that. He sort of went a Tom Hanks template with his career at one point, and how it's woven, how people do different things. What do you want to see happen?
I want the Jerry Seinfeld. I love comedy. That's like my first love. I will do comedy, but I want this show to take off. I'm doing 3 other projects. I'm doing another show. It's the female version of The Wolf of Wall Street. It's so weird. I'm not into any type of investing by any means, but I'm working on 3 projects that have to do with financial groups. But yeah, I want to be able to work on those projects and write and act, but never, also be able to do comedy, do stand up whenever I, feel like it. But I need things to open up. I need the clubs to open up again.
Yeah. They maybe do some maybe the parking lot situation comedy shows, or the front lawn parking.
Oh, I performed in a cul-de-sac last week.
Thank you, good night.
Thank you, good night. Yes. It was I'm like, oh my God. But the thing is, it was in this in Boca Raton. It's kind of in a little bit of a ritzy area. And yeah, everybody sat and they brought their chairs out in the cul-de-sac. It was packed, but oh my God, it was hysterical. So afterwards, the host, David Sadman, fantastic guy, books a lot of shows. He had everybody over for, drinks and stuff, and talking to these women, it's just hilarious, like their problems. Oh, whenever anybody drives up, they just see my 3-car garage. Like, oh my God. I told them, like, you guys have your, and then they're talking about each other when the other one leaves the room, like, you got your own show right here, the Bitches of Boca. But they were all fun. They were all a lot of fun. And yeah, I do some of these outside shows. So it's what you got to do right now. Hopefully things will get better. I think it will. I mean, everybody's moving. There's been like a mass exodus from California. So I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to lose my place in LA. But yeah, I'll come back out here. My buddy Richie lives out here, and he's like family to me. So come out here, go back, whatever. It's a plane ride away.
How many times have you been tested for COVID?
3.
Can you tell us about those experiences, or the one of them?
Went in, they took my blood. 2 days later, negative.
So did you you didn't do the nose swab?
No.
That seems so. There, I guess in China or Japan, they started doing. They just okayed a anal COVID swab test.
Is this a joke?
No.
Come on.
It's true. Google it.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I bet that goes over really well in West Hollywood.
So there'll be a line on the door. What are you guys waiting for? You know what we're waiting for.
Is it normal to come during your COVID test? You can edit that out.
They give you a kiss on the way out. Here you go.
Someone owes me a dinner.
I feel so violated. Can I do it again?
Can I tip you?
How many thank yous can I say? What's it like being a comedian working and trying to have a private life? Like relationships, like sustain, like is it hard to balance career and love?
there was this woman, she's this attorney I knew from West LA, and she's like, you know what? And she wrote this, and she was published in the Wall Street Journal, and she said, you know what? You can have it all, but not at the same time. And it's so true. Like, yeah, either things are going great with my career or they're going great with a personal relationship. So I'll let you guess what's happening right now. Everything is going really well with the career, but it's a balance of time and energy, and you know, it's difficult. It's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't getting laid before COVID, but now it's like what? I mean, what do you have to do? Nothing really. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know anybody that's getting laid right now. They're probably the married people are getting.
Oh, my neighbor, she's going on these Tinder dates. And it was right when COVID started. And I'm like, are you insane? She's like, well, he told me he'd get COVID for me. I'm like, wow. So I go, and it just didn't add up. I'm like, really? You're going to risk it? And she's like, well, he also said he'd bring me over a case of toilet paper. And I'm like, are you kidding? So I'm like, please get extra for me. So then I'm endorsing the guy.
So you have a threesome. It's awesome.
she's next door and she's texting me. She's like, oh my God, it's awful. Like, he's the worst. And I'm like, well, take the toilet paper and kick him out. She's like, I can't. It's sitting right by the door. I'm afraid he'll take it out when he leaves. So I'm like, do I create a diversion? Like, can I help? She's like, oh. I'm like, you can't. So she took one for the team. Wow. And I got 2 rolls out of it.
Wow.
True story.
Those are
true story.
Those are probably the best shits you ever took in your entire life. The quality of this TP is amazing. So did you I know you don't do political stuff, but how did you how's your last
how did I vote?
No.
Kidding.
But I hope I know how you voted. But what was what were you thinking? What was crossing through your mind about the last month, with seeing everything that happened from the Capitol thing to Biden to the in a nutshell? I know you don't really, but just as a person, what
well, you know what's insane is you live in California, and they're super non-Trumpers. You come here, honestly, just before Biden was sworn in, there were people out rallying still, like Trump's still president. They were on the street corner. I'm like, you guys, it's over, But
it's over. It's over. It's over. I don't get it. I don't get why these people they don't have a dog in the race. I don't understand. I don't get why there's still people with Trump stickers or they just say you're an
No, they're everywhere. Still the posters. People aren't taking them down. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a trip, right?
No. And then last night, there's this guy that's out at this place, and he drives up with this big old truck, and he's got those Dukes of Hazzard flag thing flying. I'm like,
yeah, the flag.
The Confederate flag. I'm like, oh my God. It's scary how people are still divided. That's the thing that sucks. It's painful, And family members, it's awful. I don't even want to talk about it with any of them, It separates people. It's a real thing. So I don't know. I'm hopeful. We got our work cut out for us, though.
Yeah, we got the family member stuff is a trip. It's I guess I don't understand. Maybe that's just, it's not going to get any better between now and a month from now than it is now with those relationships. There's nothing to say to them except be frustrated, and it drains you of your energy. Especially you're an empathetic person, I'm sure, but doesn't it seem it drains you? It's literally fucking draining.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, with certain areas in the Midwest, especially, is on one issue, and that's abortion. If they don't care what the guy is saying or woman is saying, but if they are pro-choice, they're out. So I brought a boyfriend home one time, and he was super, super, super democratic, right? And he goes, he sat at our table. My entire family's like, I have a sister who's a Catholic nun, right?
Oh, wow.
And he just goes, oh no, I not only am I pro-choice, he goes, I am pro-abortion. So that was a short-lived relationship.
Yeah. Wow. That's nuts. So you have a sister that's a nun?
Yeah. Sister can't resist her. She's hot. She's gorgeous.
How long has she been a nun?
Oh my God. Let's see. I don't know, 30 years?
Wow. So wow.
I'm the youngest of 7. So,
what?
yeah. Oh, yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know you had 7 sisters. Is it 7 sisters or some? Do you have any brothers in there?
It's 3 and 3.
Are there anything like things that you want to talk about besides?
Well, okay. So the fact that, and this is just stuff that I'm actually putting back into my act, but it's been so rare that I'm able to actually get up and do a show because of COVID. But it's funny because people always think that I would talk about, they always say talk about what you know, right? So I would talk about stuff about being from the Midwest and how like we didn't have heat in our upstairs until I was like, I don't know, 11. Mm-hmm. And we're in the Midwest. I mean, and they're like, why did you make up those stories? Because now I teach yoga, I'm doing comedy, I live in LA, Venice Beach, like, and it's not made up. And I don't know how to get that, but I was just telling somebody the other day, because they're like, are you vegan? I'm like, no, I'm a juicer and I do all that stuff, but I eat meat once in a while. But I was telling him how when I didn't have play dates when I was little, my play dates, because we lived out on a farm, like way in the sticks, and I was out playing with the cows, I would be out like, and I'm the youngest of 7. My next sibling was 4 years. The next one was another 4 years. So we were all spread out. So, but I'll never forget the day I made the connection that cow was gone and our deep freezer was full of meat. And I'll never forget sitting at the dinner table. I had that burger and I was like, can I have more ketchup? That's a true story. I'm like, wow.
Wow. Did you guys have a big farm? Was there many cows that you killed?
Oh, yeah.
How many cows have you killed, Kristi McHough?
Personally, none. No, my dad broke horses. He was like the dude from miles around in the Midwest. He took a beast from the wild and tamed it. That was his job. That's a man. They say a girl looks for in a mate what she saw in her father. Mm-hmm. There's nobody taming any kind of animal around here anymore, right?
Yeah, maybe help her with Bear Grylls or something. He's doing manly shit.
Yeah, but I mean, my dad, broke horses. My mom worked her ass off. She was worked at the hospital. She would take care of all of us all day and then go to work at 9:00 at night. And she had to drive 30 miles. And she was work at the hospital. Then at 7 a.m. come home. I'm like, when did you sleep? She's like, I don't know. Like, because my dad passed away when I was 6. So she took care of she brought all of us up. Well,
shit, a single mom of 7?
Yeah.
On a farm.
But I mean, a lot of them were older. Like when I was born, one of them I think was off to college when I was born. So, yeah. So that's kind of the bulk of what I am. My sisters and brothers were the ones basically who reared me. So yeah, awesome.
Wow. So your family's really close. Are you close with your siblings?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
Interesting. So what's it like? What time is it there in Florida right now?
It's 3 hours ahead of whatever it is there. I don't have a clock right here.
What is your day? What's your exercise routine?
Right now I switch it up. I get bored with stuff, but right now I'm running quite a bit. I run about 3 to 5 miles, and then I do yoga and I do some meditation, and because I'm on the road right now, but usually weightlifting is 3 times a week too. But yeah. And I live a half a block from the beach in LA, so I'm up, at the beach running.
What'd you think of Venice when you went through there last?
In Venice?
Yeah. What did you?
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, everything's closed down, and I don't really understand. I'll wear a mask. I'll be respectful of that. But when I'm out running and I'm 20 feet away from somebody, I don't need some lady screaming at me to put my mask on. Like,
Oh,
I keep my distance.
But
it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Dude, I have a fucking story. I was on Main Street selling, at the Century Mattress store, and this is like all my artwork on the side there on Main Street, and it was like after this whole COVID thing happened, there was like, and I was like, I had my mask on, but then I hadn't have it on. This is like early. This is early.
Yeah.
Like
right.
It was probably just April or something like that. And this woman walked, this is couple, it's a happy young couple, right? They don't have their masks on, and they're holding hands and they're walking. It was like a scene out of a movie, pleasant couple, blah, and this woman stops, and I'm on the sidewalk, and back of me between her and the guy and the girl, she stops and goes, "Where's your masks at?" And like, it was the first time because I didn't have my mask on me either. And I was like, don't pick on me. I don't want her to turn around and see me. But she wouldn't let up on this couple. And it was like so awkward.
Funny.
But like people like that seem like they're on pills a lot. There's like a pill mentality,
it is Venice.
Oh, yeah. This is like somebody's mother. She wasn't homeless or anything like that. This is like just one woman picking on this couple.
Oh my God.
Like, where's your mask at? But
it's interesting. I was dating a guy right in the beginning when everybody was having to wear their masks. I'm like, I love this. Mm-hmm. So I got him a Matthew McConaughey mask. Mm. That worked out really well.
That's funny.
And I kind of wished he could step up his game, so I got him a Denzel Washington mask. These masks is not such a bad idea.
I know, it's a whole new world. Do you think this thing's gonna go away like completely, or we're gonna have to wrap ourselves around it? Or how do you think this is gonna, with the variant thing? Do you have any predictions on how this looks a year from now?
I think it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take, people don't trust the government. They just don't. Mm-hmm. Especially with everything we've been through, they don't trust the government. Whatever you believe, a lot of people feel that there was, some scandal with the voting, right? Whatever you believe. But people there's a lot of distrust right now. So when the government comes out with a vaccine, okay, now it's getting in my body. Like, and if people are already not trusting I don't know, it's going to take some time. Then that's going to roll up. Well, then are more people going to get infected? Is this vaccine safe? Like, no, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for it to be really, okay, it's proven safe now. Time has passed, Yeah. So, I don't know. I just do what you can. Wash your hands. I haven't touched a doorknob since 2001. Honestly. You've been to my place, haven't you?
Yeah,
you know how I am. I'm crazy. Like, don't come in with your shoes on. I don't like, because you're pulling stuff from the out. I don't, yeah.
Nasty.
Well, it is, And no, I'm all about the elbow bumps and
Yeah.
Because you want to know why? There's too many times I'm in the bathroom and some chick is in there. She just leaves. She doesn't wash her hands. Then what does she do? Grabs the door handle. Gross. Gross.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing, okay, I know this is sounding OCD. This is the OCD portion. You're sitting out at a restaurant. That chick just went in the bathroom, did that. Some dude did the same thing. They come back out at the table where there's the ketchup and then they leave. Then the next people that come in, they're touching the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So yeah, I wash my hands.
Yeah.
Did you ever see What About Bob?
Yeah, a long time ago. I saw, I've never seen the whole thing from beginning to end, but I've seen.
Oh my God.
I've seen.
Oh my God. That's my favorite movie. Yeah. Favorite movie. But man, he had it figured out. Like, I will take a napkin. You remember he sprays down the phone when he's talking? But anyway.
Yeah, that would make Bill Murray a prophet because he did Groundhog Day as well. And that's sort of,
God, he's so good.
sort of what,
That's my one. If you have a bucket list, my bucket list, I would love to meet him. My plan is to write him into one of these scripts and get him on board.
well, you should tell him right now if he's watching. Bill
Murray, his brother Brian gave me socks one Christmas. That was his gift. So, you know Brian, right?
Yeah.
Brian Murray? Yeah.
Brian
Brian, get your brother. Well, you actually can even be in the movie. He's hysterical.
He
Brian
is in his movies.
He's a very funny guy.
In his movies, though, you know? Brian Doyle
What's
Murray.
that?
Brian Doyle Murray usually is in all of Bill Murray's movies.
And you know what he will say? Bill Murray will always say, like Letterman, whatever show he was doing, he'd always say, if it wasn't for my brother, like, yeah, he was behind him the whole way. And remember Christmas Vacation? Oh my God. Brian,
it'd be a while since
he was Christmas Vacation. It was Chevy Chase. He played the
that
you
was
never saw it?
Like the third one, right? That was like the third one.
I'm not sure where it fell, but he played his boss, the guy who was his boss and gave him the Jelly of the Month club. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great. When's the last time you saw Caddyshack?
Oh my God, long time.
You got to revisit it, man. That shit is crazy. It's so good. It's so good. And then you got a scene with Chevy Chase and Bill Murray at the you know, that scene about them growing that grass.
That's Brian. Brian wrote that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Doyle Murray, Rick Moranis, not Rick Moranis, Ramis directed it, I think. Harold Ramis.
Oh.
But yeah, check it out again. And what do you? One of my favorite movies of all time is Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
When's the last time you've seen that?
Long time.
You got to check that out. Cloris Leachman just died yesterday.
I know, sad.
Oh.
Was it COVID?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it was old age.
Oh, bummer.
94, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she's the last of that. Like, she comes from that Madeline Kahn, early Terry Garr.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, I mean, Madeline Kahn is, Gilda Radner.
Yeah. I just saw a thing that she did with Tom Arnold and Tom also, I adore you. You want to know why? He also is an Iowa Hawkeye fan. Awesome dude. Anyway, he lives in Iowa, but he did a thing with Cloris Leachman like not long ago and said she was just a sweetheart.
Yeah, we still got Betty though.
That's right.
She's hanging in there strong, turning 99.
Oh my, 99?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Every year I see those Betty White's birthday thing, and I always say same because it's like I see them so often. I didn't know if somebody was like going, are they just putting that out there again, even though it's not her birthday? Because it seems like 8 times a year it's Betty White's birthday.
Oh, she does that on purpose just to keep her popularity up.
Yeah. Well, how are we going to go through these today? The media has changed. So it's all about Netflix. Do you think cinema's dead? Movie theaters?
God, I hope not.
God, I used to go see movies.
I mean, they're bringing back the drive-in theater. I don't know. I can go to a movie theater here.
You can.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to it there yet?
No. I don't know. I just don't understand how one state can be so completely different from. Well, I can see how, but it's just I have hope this thing's it's gonna take time. It's gonna blow over.
Yeah, it's like, do you think this is a paradigm shift, and if so, what is this that we're going through? Do you think this is like about the paradigm shift and energies and stuff like that? Do you think this is what it just looks like? We're in it now?
Well, this is a whole other conversation, but I 1,000% believe that we're going from a 3D, people who are more up to going into the 5D. Is this something we're not even, I don't know if this is talking on a different level, but
Yeah.
I believe that this all happened. It was necessary, you know, it's Mother Earth cleansing. I mean, when we went through, you know, a lot of things, it's natural, you know, for these things to happen. And people needed to stay home. People needed to get off of like and take a moment. You know, if you're not going to do it, there's going to be Mother Nature making you. You know what I mean? Like certain, like